so let's talk about interest rates. This is going to be a big thing for 2022. Here's our little chart here. If you look at 2021, the average rate for the year was 2.79. So interest rates were just screaming low. If you look at 2020, the average rate was 3.72, which you think about that, you're like, wait, I thought rates were lower. They were at the end of 2020. They got really, really good. But at the beginning, we had a period where they were, in the high threes, and we had some weirdness and during COVID where they hit 4 and then they came back down. So next year, we just came back from a big event. Or one of the guys that we follow, Barry Habib, he's huge, like always tells us when to lock, when to float, what's going on in the market. He's basically predicting that rates are going to hit 3 3/4. Some other people are going to predict a little higher. He doesn't think it'll hit that high, but we are going to see it. And we've already seen it. As June this year, I remember locking a client in at 2.5%. And now I'm like 3 1/8, 3 1/4 on some programs without paying points. If people pay a point, you can get down that starts with a 2, but barely. So we anticipate rates going up, which is definitely going to change. It's going to have some little bit of an impact on the market, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. So current market conditions. This is the big thing. What are we up against, right? Zillow's out as an iBuyer market. There's been every single real estate agent I'm on Facebook or Instagram has posted about it and talked about it. But what I really want to talk about, the iBuyer market did take a hit, and that's something we should look at, but there's still other players out there in this type of business. Open Door and a few of Home Light, they're still buying properties. They're just not as aggressive as Zillow was. This is basically letting us know that, we are the trusted advisor. So this really helps you as you are meeting with your clients and talking about, hey, look, these people come in and out of the market and they're going to offer stuff. You really need to work with a local agent. And this is huge for you guys as agents. With this Zillow thing, this is like, I would be like, see, they couldn't do it, right? And this is what we deal with as a mortgage. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but we've been dealing against fintech companies. I'm sure you do, right? You guys hear about the clients, click a button, go to Rocket Mortgage and deal with that. We've been fighting this for 10 years and we push local. And yeah, we're always going to compete in that space. I actually think with Zillow going out, it's really going to help you guys. I think as the regular listing agent and their neighborhood. I'm going to mute someone. There we go. I think as you as the regular agent in your neighborhood, you're going to do great with this press for you. It's just something that I want you guys to think about as you are competing against this in the market. Now, inflation. How's your gas prices? Suck. How do your grocery store? You go to a grocery store, it's almost $100 more than what I was paying a year ago. This is what we're facing. How's it to get like Christmas stuff? I don't know about you guys, but I already did all my Christmas shopping, literally. And it's sitting here in the office and I got it all taken care of because it's just a pain in the butt right now. We are going to face major inflation, which is going to drive up rates. The federal government is still buying mortgages. And so let me try to give it to a broad view. So they spend about $60 billion a month buying mortgage-backed securities, which has driven our rates down. So all these mortgages that Fannie and Freddie own, every time someone makes a mortgage payment on that loan, that interest is being held by the federal government. They're making money on it. Anytime someone pays off a mortgage, like they go and sell their home and pay off a mortgage and don't take out another Fannie or Freddie loan, the government's getting their money back and they're taking that money, and it's about $60 billion a month of interest and payoffs they're receiving, and they're buying back mortgage securities, which is keeping our rates down. That's the whole thing. That all that money they've been spending has been just keeping this train moving and buying rates down. They talked about a thing called quantitative easing, and they basically said, hey, look, instead of buying $60 billion, we're going to pull 5 to 10 billion off the rate sheet, and we're only going to buy 50 billion. It's not going to have a big impact for us by them doing that, which is all the talk about rates going up. The only thing that can hurt us is inflation. So that's where we have to pay attention to this. And that's why we feel interest rates are going to go up, but we don't feel they're going to go to 4.5, 5, 6, 7, 18%. We could see a good half quarter swing in rate, and which we will see. Let's see here. Upward pressure, they forecast that we will see an 8 increase every quarter. So they're anticipating first quarter, rates are going to be 3.25, next quarter, 3 and 3.75, 3.5, and we will see a complete movement of rates by the end of next year. We should be floating at the high 3s. I do think that's going to see an impact. I really do think you're going to see an impact on housing, but not like a crash, not like this. I think you're going to see a stall. And what I mean by a stall, I'm already seeing it. Like low-end homes, condos, single-family homes under $1 million, there's 100 buyers. But I'm talking like, in our area here, I'd say 1.4, 1.5 and above, we're starting to see a little bit of stuff sitting now. I'm starting to see price reductions. I track price reductions. I'm seeing 10 a day. This is really, really important as an agent to make sure you list your home correctly. Like what was happening was homes were sold for $850. You could put that on the market for $900 and go for $950, right? I think those days are going to be very far and few between right now. So one thing I would do if I was in your shoes, I would list if the last home sold for $900, I'd probably list like 3 to 5% under the last home. Even if my home's bigger and better, convincing the buyers or the sellers to do that, I know is another hard thing, but that's probably what I would do just so you don't overprice. When you overprice, you're dead. You're dead in the water, and then you're chasing the market backwards. And that's something I would definitely advise you guys on when you're meeting with the clients going, hey, look, it's not dying, it's not crashing, but it's not like I can go list your home tomorrow for 50 to 100 grand less than the home sold down the street. It's going to slow down just a tad. So be prepared for that. But we still think housing is going to be crazy good. Our guy Barry, he gives us the birth rates and stuff and the millennials, and there's a wave of millennials that are going to be coming into the housing market, and the housing market just doesn't have enough homes. So that's something we're going to look at. Another thing, upward pressure, back to full employment. They anticipate 2022, everyone's going to be back to work. So this is going to be great. Obviously, it's really, really hard for small mom and pop shops to be paying minimum wage of $18 an hour plus health benefits, but that's reality is everyone's going to be going back to work. And so that is good news. We're going to see a lot of that coming. Next, work from home. This is a reality. This is something where a lot of industries, our industry, I got 18,000 square feet here and I got 15 people in the office, right? We're ditching this lease. We're going lean and mean, right? That's what we're going to see is a lot of companies are realizing that. And so you're going to see a lot of office space being repurposed. And that's where I think where you might see these office space buildings being turned into maybe even more housing, more apartments, maybe more condos, more infield tracks. I think that's what we're going to see is a lot of these buildings are going to get repurposed for more housing to kind of help our housing problem in California. All right. The real reason you're on here, right? Oh, wait, let's go back one. Self-employed borrowers. Did that pop up? It did. All right. Sorry. I'm a little confused. All right. So self-employed borrowers. This is a need that's going to be probably the biggest push for us next year. Is this has been a really underserved market. And I'll get into a little bit about the taxes and you got to show stuff, but this market right now is huge, as in these buyers were on the sidelines because COVID hit and they were self-employed and they took a beating. They had to get PPP loans to survive. And a lot of businesses had to pivot and change the way they do business, kind of like us. We're like getting rid of all these leases, our footprint's getting smaller. A lot of companies I know have changed their direction of what they're doing. And so right now, the self-employed, we realize is a totally underserved market, and we finally have product. We had product before the crash, or not the crash, before the coronavirus hit, and it went away. Well, now it's come back and it's really structured smartly for these self-employed borrowers, designed to get these people in homes or even get them to refinance because they took a beating from COVID. So I want to kind of walk into it. We call it a 1099 flex program. This is one of our mini products. And the reason I have it for you guys, this is for you as a realtor. You guys get a 1099 from the brokerage you work for. Okay. Most of you do. Some of you may own your own shop. We take your 1099 income, we hit you for a 15% expense ratio, and we give you the rest as your income. It's kind of like a W-2. So we don't care if you have a corporation. We don't care that you run your business through a Schedule C and write everything off, which you should be. You should not be showing that income. Let's be real. So we recognize that. And so they look at it and go, you know what? This is a really underserved market. Realtors, truck drivers, I mean, some doctors are 1099. There's a whole bunch of people. And the other thing is the entertainment industry. A lot of the people that work in the entertainment industry, they're 1099. They jump from job to job to job, and they'll go work on a set and do 6 weeks, 8 weeks. They'll do a movie. And so that whole market is an untapped market of people that were really hard to struggle to get to buy a home, which I feel this product's really going to swoop in and go, okay, you don't really need to pay all that money in taxes. We don't need to wait 2 years. So this is something I want to talk about on this is, so the Flex product, this is crazy stuff. Go to 90% LTV, loan amounts up to 3 million, FICO score as low as 660, 1 to 4 units, condos in single family homes and PUDs, max debt to income ratio 50%, primary, second home, investment property, purchase, rate and term, and cash out. This is a really big deal. I'll give you a scenario. I had a contractor who bought during coronavirus. He had to get into the house. He put a ton of money down and ended up getting like a 9% hard money loan, but he put 50% down. He was one of my very first bank statement loans. I got his stuff in, I put him through the system, and I got him 3.875 on a 30-year fixed cash out. He was so happy. And he's like, man, this was painless. He goes, the last loan I did was a hard money loan and it was more work. So this is really huge for you guys and for pretty much your self-employed borrowers that are struggling. So I'm going to get a little bit more into this product here. It is a fully amortized 30-year fixed loan too. We also offer interest only, which is pretty cool. So I want to walk you through this right here. I want to make sure you guys see this. See the slide, $1 million purchase? Josh, are you there?
Yep.
What's showing on your screen?
We see the comparison, the full.
Perfect. See, I see the next slide, which is killing me. It's throwing me off. Okay, so I want to show you guys a regular 30-year fix. Borrower gets a $1 million home, puts 20% down. They're getting about 3.25, maybe a little less today. Their mortgage payment without taxes, insurance is $34.82. Now, I get that same self-employed 1099 borrower. They're going to get a $1 million purchase, $800,000 loan, and the difference in interest rates 5/8. The difference in payments $280 a month. Oh, I don't want to pay $280 more a month. Okay, well, let me show you the difference in taxes. This is the kicker right here. So to qualify for $1 million, you need about $200,000 in income. You need to pay the state tax of 13.3%. I did it at 13%. You're going to pay the state $26,000 on $200,000 in income. And you're going to pay federal IRS of $64,000. So if you want to come and buy and you've been self-employed, I'm going to tell you, you need to write a check of $90,000 to the IRS to qualify for $1 million purchase. Or we go back and you pay $280 more, you don't show us your tax returns, and you're happy with the slightly higher interest rate. Well, so let's go back to this, right? This is what I think is to be huge. Yes, your payment's $280 more a month, but it's also tax deductible, which you probably don't need because you're writing everything off. But the difference is you're saving $86,000. So you don't have to write Uncle Sam a check just to qualify for a mortgage. This is huge. This is game changing for our market, especially for the self-employed borrowers, because the hard part is they come in, we meet with them, and they're like, So I got to show this for 2 years to qualify. And you're like, yeah, I'm sorry. And then we lose them. They disappear for 2 years, right? So every self-employed borrower you talk to, I need you to be positive and say, call Chris right now. He's got multiple programs. And a lot of people think, like I always talk to them and they're like, oh, do I got to pay 7, 8, 9, 10%? The answer was yes years ago. Now the answer is no, I can get you a 30-year fix that starts with a 3, right? And it's changing like their attitude about this, which is going to be our next wave of buyers. Our next wave of buyers are going to be all these self-employed borrowers. And most of these self-employed borrowers, they're big transactions. They're not buying $500,000 homes, right? They're the guys and gals buying $2 to $3 to $4 million purchases. So that's something where I think we will see movement in the higher end. If I could get everyone in their world to talk about self-employed, you have a program, you don't need to pay 7 or 8%. And so this is something that's really big. And this is really good for you guys as agents too. Like I got a lot of agents that want to buy a house or they want to buy investment properties, but you guys write everything off. I don't blame you. So definitely connect with me because this is stuff that we can do for you, is getting you pre-approved to buy a house, to buy investment property, buy a second home as well. Next slide. That was it. That was easy. Questions. I know you guys got questions. Josh, you want to jump in?
What about, well, I think the thing to highlight is that this is one of the options for self-employed. So like Chris said, we've got bank statements, we've got other stuff too that we can run through when the rates are not super high. So we wanted to bring this one to you because this one speaks directly to agents. Not everyone who's self-employed gets a 1099, but most realtors are. And so that's really why we wanted to put this in front of you, because this is a product that is a part of, you know, your real estate process.
Any questions? Come on. Raul, you ready?
No, I don't have any questions. I love it though. I'm actually going to reach out and talk about a refinance with you.
Yeah, there you go, man. It's great because I mean, I was hoping my first client was I don't see her on here. I was looking for her, but no, I got 2 agents right now that I'm doing the 1099. I put them in the system. I go, you're my guinea pig. Because normally we just take bank statements and take 24 months of bank statements, add up their income, harass them on every single deposit. And I mean, we still get the loans done, but they're a pain in the butt. But now you can use a 1099. And I'm like, this is all I have to use is this one piece of paper to qualify you. So
are the rates similar to the bank statement one?
Same rate. It's the same program, same rate, same investor.
But now it's just going off of 1099. Awesome.
Yeah. Instead of you giving me 12 or 24 months business bank statement and me going through your business bank statement and asking every single deposit you made, they're just now going, hey, you know what? Why don't we just take the 1099 because that is the income they're depositing into their bank statement, right? And I was like, brilliant. I was like, thank you. You're going to make my job a lot easier and not piss anyone off.
And no mortgage insurance, right, Chris?
Yeah, no mortgage insurance either.
What? No way, not 90%, no mortgage
insurance. I mean, look, that rate, when you got the 90% rate, you're probably in the 5. When you're going 85%, you're probably mid 4s. When 80% or less, it was 3.875 to 3.75. No points. You don't have to charge all these fees and stuff for this program either, which is really nice.
Awesome.
And we're servicing our own loans. So we fund them, we service them. You're stuck with Chris Fenoglio every month on your mortgage statement.
Do the rates move as quickly as the conventional rates? Like, do they change every single day?
You must work here. The answer is no, they don't. So when we see market moving, we actually haven't had a rate increase or decrease in these for about 6 months. But I do think, Josh, with inflation coming up, we could see like Fannie and Freddie keep going up. They'll start bumping these a little bit because they're going to want to spread between what Fannie and Freddie's paying versus the non-QM stuff.
Right, but we were doing these at a rate 2 times what the market rate was, let's say. But now we're within a reasonable amount of the market rates.
Yep, 100%. I know we were just talking about 1099, but I do want to bring up another program that's really hot for investors, just because I got time. Is our debt service ratio loan. This is fantastic. So you basically, if you're buying a single family up to actually I got a product goes all the way to 8 units. We take the rent and we will lend rent ratio 1-to-1. So if I'm buying a place, a duplex, and everything's $5,000 a month, I would basically, here, take that off. Cool. I can lend a new mortgage with taxes, insurance, and principal and interest payment up to $5,000, no income verified. The only thing we need is current rent, or we use projected rental income. So that right there, debt service ratio for your investors and stuff, and that rate was 3.99 on a 30-year fix. Now that program, I will tell you, has a 3-year prepay. So they're really going to stick you, like you can't go and flip homes with it, but it's more for your investors that were long-term, and they go up to unlimited properties. And there's a lot of investors that pay cash and they want to get their money out. And that's where I'm really targeting, is the clients that paid cash and they own these 3-4 unit buildings. And I'm like, look, I know you can't show tax returns, right? You would have got a mortgage. That's why it's free and clear. And doing debt service ratio loans against that. And we do it in an LLC name, which is really cool. Like they put in their name, social date of birth. I run their credit. I take the rent. I don't put any income. I don't even put a job. And I go, hey, as long as these match. Now you're asking, man, this sounds crazy. This sounds like 2006 again. It's not, because nothing in California cash flows, right? So most these LTVs are like 70 or 65. None of them are 80 or 90%. They won't even go that high. I've had a few 80s just because they were 4-plexes and they were getting really good deals and rent was really, really high. But reality is it's like a 70, 75 is probably your max you're going to see, unless you're getting something crazy where rent's really, really high and you're getting an under market value property. So any other questions? No, we're good.
Sounds
All
good to me. I'll
Yeah.
definitely be reaching out to you because I got a lot of equity built in my property right now. So I'm definitely due for a refi.
I love it.
What's the max cash out? Do you know, Chris, off the top of your head? Cash out LTV?
75. But really, we really want to stay at like 70. That's the best pricing. So cool. All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining. I'll do more of these as more products are rolling out. I really feel 2022, they're gonna push this stuff. They're really gonna help us like put more borrowers in homes, the underserved markets. We're gonna see a ton of this stuff. And we're already doing a bunch of it. I just don't advertise it that much because honestly, I'm like, all right, I'll try this one, I'll try that one, and this one. And now that I'm like successively closing them on time and now I'm doing purchases with them, I was like, okay, I'm not feeling so bad. I closed a couple 30-day bank statement loan escrows. And I'm like, because you don't want to take a bank statement loan and put them in escrow and you're like, oh, here we go. We're getting really good at them now. And so now I'm like, okay, these are confident and I'm confident in them. And plus I'll pre-underwrite them, especially if you're going out. Sandy, who's on here, I got her client. I got him completely pre-underwritten before he went out, even looked at homes. And I was like, okay, we're good. Right. I was like, I got the income totally verified by underwriters. So they're not coming back asking me for all these 3,000 deposits because the guy has 3,000 deposits of income. So that's a huge thing right now is with these borrowers that are getting pre-approved, I will pre-flight every single one of them. So you're not just getting a silly letter that says they're pre-approved, or we'll get a full underwriting approval. It just takes time. It's not like something I could do in one day. They usually take 5-6 days to get them fully approved through the system. But as long as the clients are easy to work with, I mean, it's super easy. 12 months bank statement, send it to me, right? 1099, send me the one page of your 1099. So I'm feeling a lot more comfortable doing these, especially on purchases and closing them quick.
Cool. And then just a quick question too. When do you think you'll have this recording up so I can share it?
Josh?
For sure. I mean, I think later today. I think it turns around pretty quickly. So if not, we'll send it tomorrow.
Yeah. No, I got someone else in mind too, and he's got 2 properties right now. He just purchased one cash loan through a Smith Barney, so he's sort of like on a hard loan.
Oh yeah, those are exactly who I'm looking for right now.
Yeah, and then he's got the other one that's free and clear, but he's looking at taking a small mortgage out on that property.
Yep, 100%. Those are my clients, man. That's our new wheelhouse. That's going to be what's going to push us through next year.
All right.
All right. Cool, guys. I got to get home.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Hey, of course. Good seeing you, Raul. Are you going to come to my party? Did you get my invite?
You know what? I'm not sure if I did. I'll double check.
All right. If you didn't, shoot me an email because my marketing team's in trouble on the party stuff. I've gotten a lot of people go, hey, someone in my office got invited and I didn't. And I'm like, guys, what are we doing wrong here? Cool. But you got to come. It's on the 7th, December 7th. We're going to have some fun.